What's up, Izzy?
What's up, brother?
Oh, Billy.
It's going down, everybody. We'll let a couple people jump on here. Get my notes. How's everybody doing?
Shitty.
Shitty?
Yeah.
Kind of picked up? Why are you shitty today? What happened?
That house that I'm doing with Keith.
Yeah?
Turns out the dude's ex-wife is Untitled,
Oh, no.
and she doesn't want to sign without getting a certain amount of money that's Larry is not willing to give up, and so
Oh, man, that sucks.
yeah, so we're filing list pendants and all that.
I need you to come eat though, Kylie. If your mommy's gonna let you watch a special, you have to finish to sit here and eat though.
Hey, Lynn, Wang, we can hear you. Let me get my kids over here so you can tell them some stuff too. Hey guys, if you are not ready to talk, then make sure your mic is off. Hey, there's somebody beautiful I haven't seen for a while, Mr. Troy Fisher.
Hi, Julie.
You look like a genius with all those books or something in the background.
It's my office. I might need those someday.
I hear that. Hi, everybody. You guys are welcome to unmic yourself. Just make sure if you're screaming at your kids or whatever that you, that you keep your mic on, which is all allowed. What's up, Lika?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's up?
It's all good in the hood over here. I haven't even taken a shower today, so I'm enjoying myself. Don't even have nothing. Got a beautiful listing coming on today, guys. I can't wait for you to see it. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Down
where
in
is it?
Lake Ridge, secret neighborhood called Lake Ridge. Do you guys know where Lake Ridge is? South
Is
end
that
of Lake
like-
Washington.
Yeah. I love Lake Ridge. Is
I
that
do
like
too.
close to View Ridge, Wedgwood area?
No, it's not at all. It's down in South Seattle at the south end of Lake Washington, kind of off of Rainier Avenue South, but up on the hill.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it.
Jimmy Tang has done some new construction over there and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Yep. So
Nice.
Lika, do you guys have something coming up with Preston? When's that coming up?
Yeah, that's actually Tuesday at 1 p.m. And I'm so excited because we got William and Dee Dee and Preston.
Yeah. While we are waiting for other people to jump on, Lika, go ahead and tell everybody about that.
You guys, so we're going to talk about trends, like rental trends for like core Seattle markets for the last couple of months during the COVID time. We're also going to talk about eviction laws. We're going to talk about systems for property managers self-managing, and some landlord resources that would help you manage your properties better. So it's a really good, like, lots of information all in 1 hour. So come prepared, bring your notebook.
Heck yeah, man. We recorded a podcast yesterday with Enrique Javins, which was a good one that'll drop here in the next few weeks. Some good insight
Awesome.
because he's an investor, as well as big time property manager. And you got to listen to it all the way to the end because he dropped a pretty good bomb there at the end, some exciting stuff. So I will dangle that carrot in front of you guys there, but good to see all you guys. It's been a while now, right? It's starting to be a long time that we're in our social distancing. Or what's the update, Keith? I'm gonna talk to you in a minute, Keith Pitch with Loan Depot, because did you see that thing I sent you, Keith, that Matthew Gardner had, or that article? Keith, did you see that? Pitch, can you hear me, Keith?
Yeah. I'm just trying to unmute myself, Julie. Yeah, there's a good development. I actually have to bounce at noon, so I just want to let you know that. So, but
Okay,
yeah.
so we'll put you up first, but yeah, and Leica, you can put a link to your webinar in the show note, in the chat if you want.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll do that.
And then everybody, she's also posted it on the Seattle Investors Club Facebook page if you guys want to jump on there and check in with that, every couple days or something.
Yes.
Just for the record of anybody that's listening, I just want to lay out a ground rule real quick on the Seattle Investors Club website. Those of you, you guys are welcome to post your events on our website if you've talked to me first. I know, Leiko, we talk all the time. I've given her free reign to do that with her stuff. So if you want to promote one of your events through Seattle Investors Club Facebook page, reach out to me. You can just text me at 206-910-2985. Let's just touch base real quick, and just so I make sure that I know what it is. So it's nothing weird like a strip show or something like that. But the other thing is
I just
that,
walked in. I heard something about strip shows. I'm sorry.
oh, that must have been Larry talking, Marishka. No, I'm just kidding. One thing I want to say to you guys also is that if you're a wholesaler or an investor out there that's doing some off-market stuff and you want to market that through Seattle Investors Club Facebook page, you are welcome to do so, but we have some serious rules of engagement. If you don't engage properly with our Facebook page, I will delete your post and I won't call you first because I'm too busy. So what that means that if you are a real estate broker like me and like some of us on here, a lot of us on here, we do follow the Northwest MLS rules, and we're not going to let you pre-market a listing by sharing addresses and photos and all that stuff. That keeps our community safe from, we want to we are the play by the rules tribe. So not only does that keep our community safe from scrutiny, but it keeps you actually safe from hurting yourself and getting a ding or somebody reporting you. So helps us both. If you're a wholesaler and you want to post your wholesale deals on Seattle Investors Club, I need you to watch podcast number 63 with Jeff Watson on legal wholesaling. Please watch it so you are posting that stuff correctly. If you need some education on how to post your contracts for sale properly on our Seattle Investors Club website, again, reach out to me and I can help you, give you some extra detail there. But I will ask you if you have watched or listened to the Jeff Watson legal wholesaling first, or else I'll ask you to go do that first. So lots of good info there. Is there anything, I'm keeping an eye on time because I want Keith to tell us about the updates with in the lender world and forbearance and mortgage stuff that's going on. Does anybody have anything that they want to, that they need help with? Is anybody in a situation they need some assistance, some collaboration here from our group? There's already about 24 of us on here, all experienced and different levels of experience. Does anybody need help with anything or a question or want to run something by us as a collective group? No? Okay. Does anybody have any great off-market deals that they want to tell us about? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing in your free time? What are you guys doing? My God. Okay. Well, if nobody has anything,
How
you
about
can.
Marishka?
Yes.
Tell them about the seller finance deal you're working on right now.
Well, okay, yeah. So there, I was referred by some folks who they were planning to sell their house, and then they had some friends who were planning to buy a house, but and they were pre-approved for a loan at 3.5%, but he works in the aerospace industry, and so he was laid off, like many people were. And so instead of just sitting around and collecting unemployment, he went to Home Depot. Guess what? He was no longer eligible for 3.5% financing. So they happened to talk with these friends who were planning to sell mom's house, and they said, you know what, we could, maybe we could lease option it to you. So they were referred to us because somebody knew we did lease option. But in talking with them over what they really wanted, I said, seller financing might be a better solution all the way around. And they said, yeah, it would. So the borrower is going to be bringing in a nice down payment, and they're going to, we're going to structure a deal so that they can have a long-term payment stream. The borrowers we're basically kind of re-qualifying them, realizing that they're not going to fit institutional standards because he's no longer working in his, previous line of work, but he's still got good income. His debt to income ratio is there and everything. And it's just going to be a win-win. And we're going to structure it in such a way so that if if mom happens to pass on because she's 92 and they don't want to have this long-term stream of income, we're structuring it in such a way so that some of the heirs could potentially get cashed out easier. The others might want to have a long-term stream of income. So there's just a lot of flexibility that we can do with something like that. And yeah, it's just a win-win because, now they can sell the house easily. They can have a nice stream of income rather than a lump sum of cash that now they have to figure out, okay, now how do we invest it so that mom can be taken care of? And these people are able to get into a house.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Enrique and I, Jevons, were actually talking about also seller finance deals. And, if you guys do have some free time and you are continuing your education these days, absolutely, you should be schooling yourself up on seller financing techniques. I know Marishka hosts some stuff through their group, which she can tell you about. But also, if you're a real estate broker and you're interested in learning about seller financing, more so, and Marishka is a broker with me in my VIP education community, we are opening up some of our trainings because we are very focused on training all the brokers that work with us on this. And right now I have room to probably invite 5 brokers that just want to tag along. And if you're interested in that, just reach out to me if you want to be involved in the seller financing training that we're going to be doing. Actually, Marishka is going to lead that for us. In my private broker coaching community, just reach out to me at julie@seattleinvestorsclub.com or text me 206-910-2985. But yeah, we're going to start. I'd love to start a podcast series on seller financing transactions where people can share the seller financing transactions that they are doing. So if you, Marishka and I are going to co-host that together as things continue to move through the next year or two, when that's going to become more prevalent and more available and more sellers are going to be more willing. And so if you are somebody that has completed a seller finance transaction, could you please reach out to me, because we want to put you on this podcast series that we're doing to help teach everybody how to do more seller finance deals. So again, just reach out to me. So because Keith's got to jump off at noon today, I want to make sure that we check in. But Keith, 1 second, there are some questions. I also want to, Lynn Wang, if I'm saying your first name, if you want to, you put in the chat that you're a commercial lender and you can help with 1031s. Do you want to speak up for a second for yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm a commercial lender with Opus Bank, and we specialize in the whole gamut of commercial real estate. So from your 1031 exchanges, your ground up construction, your storage units, your RV parks, your mobile homes, we can do that. And we have our whole department to handle also the property management team.
Great. And have you put your contact email in the chat box?
I actually just sent it to you privately because I didn't know if I could do it to everybody.
No, go for it. No, we
Okay.
want to share. This is a big sharing platform here.
What,
So if anybody needs a, go ahead.
what states do you lend in?
We currently lend in the whole Western Washington, the Western states, so Washington, Oregon, Nevada, California, Oregon. We are currently getting acquired by Pacific Premier Bank, which means that our lending will be more vast, potentially across country, which we'll know a little bit more after the merger and acquisition after June. But with Pacific Premier, they are going to help us double in size. So we're going to be a $20 billion bank surpassing Columbia Bank and Heritage Bank. So there's going to be more lending capabilities for full shop real estate.
Okay, so you said RV parks, mobile home parks, or
Yes.
just the homes, and Idaho?
Yeah, so yes, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, yes, all in the Western states.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
So you've got your contact information there. And who else? Erica, did you want to ask your question? Because we have some people that can answer it here.
Sure, just wondering, I have 1 year of real estate tax returns. I claimed 0 the first year, didn't realize that would affect me negatively here, and hold on. So that's why I'm on mute. Anyways, I'll come back. I guess it's on there, but just looking to see if we can get qualified as a lender.
Let me read it for you. I'll read it for you. And then let's see, Erica said, I think Keith, I think you were trying to answer her, weren't you?
Good.
Yeah, it's a maybe. Erica, you're right in a gray area, and I want to get more details about what your accounting for commercial real estate look like prior to you going into real estate and doing something.
So Erica's Kai, you need to mute yourself. Erica or Joe, can you mute Kai? Erica said, I'm leaning towards a conventional loan and not a hard money loan for our purchase for a BRRRR, and I only have 1 year of tax return showing my real estate income. Are there lenders out there that can lend to us in current time, strong credit, and good assets? And so Keith was answering the question on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard a lot of it. Thanks, Keith.
And you guys, do you want to expand on that? You said, what'd you do before real estate?
Yeah, so I was in bookkeeping first, and then I became an accountant for an investments company. And then I just jumped right into real estate after my toddler was born. So now I did a flip of my live-in residence. So the last one, we were successful with that one, and we have good equity in our house.
Okay. Nice.
Any chance there, Keith?
It's a maybe. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no.
Okay.
Got to dive deeper into what the subject property looks like, how much debt you did 2008. 2008.
You're cutting out on us, Keith. You're cutting out on us. You're cutting.
Hold on.
There you are.
I didn't have my Wi-Fi turned on. Sorry about that.
Ah, much better.
Yay!
So you guys are going to connect offline, and that's awesome. If anybody, Keith's with Loan Depot. Are there any other lenders on here? We want to make sure, if you're a lender, that you get to say you're a lender. We're not. Keith's been my go-to for a long time with Loan Depot, but you guys are all welcome to speak up. If there's any other lenders like Lynn, am I saying your name correctly? L-I-N-H?
Yeah, you're saying absolutely correct.
Perfect. Okay, Keith, why don't you, 11:45, 11:46, why don't you give us the update on what's going on with lending? Unless we lost you because you look frozen. All right, well, we're waiting for Keith to come back. Does anybody else have anything they want to ask or bring up today? There he is.
Yeah, I'm here. That's
All
weird.
Right.
So it's been a mixed week. There's some non-QM lenders coming back to the market that are going to do debt service coverage approach of properties for investment purposes only, which is cool. On the side, I've had traction in all of my second mortgage outlets. They're not doing finances anymore. They're only doing purchases. So it's very interesting that people that let's tap into equity, at least through my outlets, are not going to do any refinances anymore. Then Julie sent over the biggest breaking news yesterday. FHFA was going to go ahead and entertain a deferral program for those that are in forbearance, because they came to the realization that 6 months per the CARES Act, you get 6 months and then you can have another 6 months worth of forbearance. It would take homeowners a very long time to get caught up on mortgage payments. So let's just add a deferral. Deferral, folks, was never in the loan workout workflow. That was going to be considered a loan modification. So this is going to be it's not going to be a loan modification. It's just going to be tacked on to the end of your loan. So you're going to have to pay that forbearance amount at the point of selling property, refinancing the property, or 30-year term, which no one ever does. But it's going to be a good, and here's what it impacts. And when you come to forbearance, you have to reinstate your mortgage. So you can reinstate your mortgage by, one, paying all the missed payments that you missed all in sum, or B, going on a payment plan, which means you're making double payments, or maybe like an extra 133% of a payment for 12 months. So then once you reinstate your mortgage, the dirty little secret that FHFA is not still talking about is you have to wait 12 months from forbearance reinstatement to be qualified for a Fannie Freddie FHA loan again. They haven't fixed that problem, but at least the deferral situation will allow people to come out of forbearance and go straight into a reinstated mortgage, which is good.
So you're saying it's a positive?
It's definitely a positive. And I don't know if it's because they got so much pressure because CNN and NBC and all news channels were out there saying deferral. But that wasn't the normal course of action when it comes to forbearance. So FHFA is saying, well, we got to do something, because if you think about how it could stagnate the market, if I do 12 months worth of forbearance and then boom, we're in May of 2021, now I'm going to go on 12 months worth of repayment. And then I have to wait another 12 months after my repayment plan is done. I effectively am now out of the real estate market for 3 years. There's over 4 million mortgages right now in forbearance. 7.9% of FHFA's book of business is in forbearance right now. So that's a pretty sizable number to take out of the lender pool. So that's where FHFA is stepping in and saying, no, okay, I guess we should defer. Because otherwise we're going to stagnate these folks for a full 3 years, and that's what they do not want to do.
Interesting. So on the flip side, do you think, most people who are in trouble, I've found, it seems like they like to hang on as long as possible, where they will just stay where they're at, right?
Yep.
You think about people in foreclosure and stuff like that. They have a tendency to wait it out all the way to the end, right?
Right.
How do you think that affects like our lead flow as realtors and investors?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the legal description of a distressed property, and whether or not forbearance would count as a distressed property. But I think it's a really interesting opportunity to talk to listing prospects and say, look, one of the best ways that you could just be done with this whole situation is to sell your property. Right. So the forbearance is done. They will still have to wait the 12 months. They can equity out. They can go talk to Marishka and do seller financing because they're not traditionally bankable. So it could still show very beneficial for you as a listing agent. The flip side that listing agents should be asking,
or investors.
Or investors, yeah. Anybody who is listing a property, if they're looking to turn around and buy another property, you want to make sure that they're pre-approved, and that if they have had forbearance, that you know about it, because you don't want to list their property and now they're homeless, or you list their property and now they're really, really mad because you didn't say anything. We all have an onus to know how this dynamic works. And if we know that their intent is to sell one and go buy another, but they're not bankable for that next transaction, that's something we all have to be aware of. So in your listing presentation, that should be absolutely a question that goes in there. During COVID-19, did you go into forbearance on any one of your real estate transactions?
Right. Thomas, you want to ask your question? Thomas, you with us? So Thomas is asking, how would it impact credit working? His mic's not working. How is it going to impact credit ratings, this new twist?
Yeah, per the CARES Act, the forbearance can't impact your credit rating, right? It's not going to be reported to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian as a negative. What it will show on your transaction history is that you didn't make those payments and your loan was either forbearance, if you're still in a forbearance program and not eligible, or it'll show that gap, and then we'll go out and get what's called a verification of mortgage and see that you were in a forbearance, and then we're going to have to wait. We have to ask you to prove that your loan has been reinstated, either through you paying back the forbearance, you completing your repayment plan, or showing your deferral agreement with mortgage service, and then have you waited months. So it won't impact it will impact your eligibility.
Which is the thing that people get confused about.
Yes.
Right? Because they think they're hearing it's not going to impact their credit, and they just don't know how the mortgage and financing flow works, and they don't realize they're going to get, that's all going to get figured out and dinged in a different way. All of us, right now, the best way to, whether you're an investor or a wholesaler or a broker or whatever you are, the best message these days in dealing with anybody in order to get leads or whatever you're, just in general, is as a message of service and help. No sales messages these days. And so this topic right here is an opportunity for everybody, whatever discipline of real estate that you're in, is to, become an expert at what's going on here and educate people as a way of service, which is basically just a conversation starter. Real estate is all about starting conversations, like I said, whatever discipline that you're in, right? And so we're always looking for the right messages that will be, able to start those conversations. And this topic in particular certainly is one of those. So good stuff. So Keith, so the big change from before, because we'd had this conversation before about the same thing, like that your payment history is going to get pulled, and I'm being redundant here. That hasn't changed from week to week, but the difference is this deferral now is just adding as another leg to discuss, right? As another way. Right. So that means that
it's another way to discuss for sure.
Right. Good stuff. Anybody else have anything going on here? Let me see who's on there today so I can pick on you and see who is with us here.
I got to go run to my call. We'll catch you guys later. Have a great week.
Hey, Keith, I still want to do a Facebook Live with you on this topic.
Okay.
So let's circle up. And then also remember the presentation that you did for me with VIP with your homie style. Do you have that recorded?
Yeah, I thought I sent you the Google link. I can't send it to you because it's like 7 megabytes. It's huge. But yes, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you this afternoon.
All right, thank you. All right, see you guys. See you later.
Talk to you later.
Later. Let's see. Who else do we have on here? Nee, do you want to speak up and say anything? What's going on in your world? Nee is our partner at Certain Lending, who might not be able to speak today. Enrique, there he is. Hey, Enrique, I was just bragging about you. I didn't know if you heard or not. What's going on?
Oh, too funny. Yeah, I jumped on late. Well, what's going on with me is not necessarily public knowledge yet, but I don't have to keep it a secret anymore. I'm going to be separating from Mind Property Management. I'm taking back my management company.
Tell everybody who you are.
Scott can attest, there were just too many issues. So all the same problems that Scott had, I was having on the back end with with mine, and so I'm separating from Mind and going to really hyper focus on service and go back to the days of like when I used to be work for Marriott and focus just 100%
and introduce
on service.
Yourself. Not everybody might not know who you are, so introduce yourself.
Sorry. So my name's Enrique Jevons, and I'm a property manager. I'm a designated broker, state of Washington. I live in Sammamish and manage properties in several different counties throughout the state. So King County, Pierce County, Yakima County, but we also just started up with 61 units in Walla Walla. So we're there as well. So I'm taking back the best of my staff, letting go the staff that Mind had that were not as good. And let's see, this is all going to be effective July 1st. So it hasn't taken effect just yet. So July 1st.
And if any of you guys are out there today that have any type of rental questions, landlord, tenant questions, or anything like that, now's a great time about asking about rules or ordinances in regards to property management. Does anybody have any questions? We got Enrique here today with us that can help answer. We recorded a podcast with him yesterday that'll be coming out here in a while. But does anybody want to take advantage of having Enrique with us here today? Anybody? Speak up, just unmic yourself.
Yeah, hey, Enrique, I'm glad to hear you're moving on. I'd love to have a conversation with you about that, guys. I know I have one of my properties with Mind, and I live in Sammamish too, so we can
nice.
Maybe go sit in the Safeway parking lot. And
yeah, exactly. Or get coffee to go.
Yeah. So I'll reach out to you.
I do too, Enrique. I'd like to talk with you as well. I'm looking at a fourplex in Walla Walla right now. So.
Oh, you are? Oh, very nice.
Talk to you about that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So we've taken on 61 units out there right now. So.
Awesome stuff. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
All right.
What's going on in your world? You guys meet Matt Flynn from Flynn Family Lending. If you don't have Matt and Beth in your speed dial of your Rolodex, you are missing an important player on your team. They fill a very, very unique niche for us here in our community, in our broker and larger investing community with not just Seattle Investors Club, but everybody else in town too. So Matt, why don't you introduce yourself and let everybody know what you guys do and where you fit in our world.
Well, thanks for the intro. And this is Ursel. He's one of our team members here as well. So Beth and I do a lot of different creative financing. I think we've even helped a few of you. Hi, Justin. So we've been able to keep our staff on full time, which is great. We still have everybody on board, which is great.
And tell them what you do, just in case we have new people on here.
Okay, well, we do first mortgages, but we also do seconds or bridge loans. So if you have a client that is looking to purchase a property, maybe they don't have a lot of liquidity, but they have a lot of equity, we can help them use their equity in either their primary residence or investment properties to help acquire more properties that they're looking at. So we like people to keep their cash in their pocket so they can use that money for capital improvements or making their payments or having that liquidity buffer. And what we'll do is either do a second or cross collateralize 1, 2, or we've even used 5 properties to help shore up, make sure our investors comfortable, but also making it so people can use their equity to build their capital and build their investment portfolio.
Good stuff.
It's amazing how many people I talk to. I always ask people, hey, you have all this equity in your house, so, how's that working for you? And most people are so, deer-eyed. They're like, well, the bank says I can't get a loan, so what am I supposed to do? And I see all these people with like $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in equity, and they do zero. It just sits there stagnant. I'm like, well, have you thought about maybe using that equity to buy an investment property or, use it for other future endeavors? And they just look at me like, I didn't even know that was possible. And so that's a great little niche that we have, are these seconds or bridge loans to help make that equity work for you. You've worked hard to get all that equity and that money, so put it to work. That's why you have all that equity there. So.
Absolutely. I mean, again, if you guys should check out the Flynn Family Lending, all their social media, and get to know more about the types of deals that they do. So you can use that for yourself or your friends or family, or if you're a broker, you can use that with your clients. Nothing like getting a couple deals because you teach somebody how to use the equity of the property you help them purchase to do more deals. So what else is going on? Anybody else have an update? Troy, what's going on with your mobile home park? Just as a touch on totally different asset class, and are you being affected by, how's that being affected with the coronavirus pandemic and all that over where you're at? Tell everybody what you own and tell us what's going on.
So 188 pad mobile home park in Michigan. We currently have 67 residents. We got ahead of COVID-19 and we offered all of our residents 20% rent credit if they paid by the 5th of each month. If they couldn't pay by the 5th, but they could pay during the month, they would get a 10% rent credit. And if they lost their job, we'd spread their rent over 3 months. That was in April. April. And then in May, we did the same thing. And if they couldn't pay April and May, so now we're spreading it out over 6 months. So we've lost probably about $9,000 in rent credits over the last 2 months, but 96% of my residents pay rent. So,
and that's interesting, right? Which sort of seems to be the theme across the board. Enrique, you can pipe in on this as well, is we haven't heard of yet anybody getting slammed with non-payment of rent. Are you guys hearing the same thing as me?
Yeah, yeah. So there's definitely, a few, but nobody that's getting crippled by it. The one person that I know that is really hurting and getting crippled by it is somebody who's got, we don't manage it for him, but he's got 12 units in Ellensburg, and it was all students. And so when all the students moved out, and then, like I said, there's no amount of rent that you could possibly drop to attract anybody else in, because there just literally is nobody else essentially besides students out there. It's a one-town industry, and now with that industry, it's wiped out. And so in the beginning, he was thinking, okay, well, hopefully things get started back up again. But now the universities, Central Washington said, no, everybody's staying home. And now there's even talk about it may not happen in the fall. So now he's looking at how can he go with 0% occupancy all the way through the fall. So he's extremely, extremely worried. He's the only one that I know of that's in that bad of a financial pinch. But it does make me think of university towns throughout the country.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Go ahead, Marishka.
I was just going to say, and I know that this is not something that a lot of people who are on the call do, but Larry and I buy and hold notes all around the country, including in our own state, long-term owner-occupant. And we were very concerned, when all of this happened, as I'm sure all of you were. Most of our notes are what are called, low price band notes. So they're properties that are under 150,000. A lot of them, quite frankly, are under 100. But we were all very concerned that, we might have a lot of defaults. And so I'm not just relying on our data. I'm talking with a lot of note people around the country who have note portfolios. And what we're finding is that the notes that were performing before, because we primarily buy performing notes, the notes that were performing are so far continuing to perform. If people are out of work, in many instances, they're now earning more than they were before because of unemployment and the federal, bump on that as well. However, if you had somebody who maybe had a rolling 30-day late or a rolling 60-day late, they are getting a little bit further behind. But, just to kind of compare, rentals versus holding notes for cash flow, that's just kind of what's going on in our world.
And Enrique, let's tell everybody what you were saying as far as when you're screening your tenants going forward. For those of you that have rentals, Enrique was talking about one thing you can check into is FICO scores. Do you want to say something about that?
So Julie, Joe and I taped yesterday, right? Podcast. I guess, Julie, it's coming, in a couple of weeks?
Yep.
That'll come out, the next one. So biggest determining factor for us is FICO score. Those people with a good FICO score, they're continuing to pay rents. It's the people that we found, the couple of people who have not paid, and typically it's a result of being laid off, is the people with the lower FICO scores. And so it's just really reinforcing my opinion again in FICO scores being really the biggest determining factor as to whether a tenant's going to pay rent on time or not. Those people who don't want to hurt their score, who really watch their scores, they're, in my opinion, they're the ones who keep paying rent. So we see that time and time again.
Because you can't ask somebody, you can't go into asking them about their job and their details, right? I mean,
yeah. With the whole source of income being essentially, protected class. So your state of Washington, you're no longer allowed to discriminate against source of income, which, a lot of people think, oh, that means, okay, of course I have to accept Section 8 now. And it does mean that in the state of Washington, where there were only a few cities that had an ordinance against discriminating against Section 8. now statewide, Washington, and there's a lot of other states that are like this too, where source of income is something that you cannot discriminate against. But on the reverse side, flip side of that, is you can no longer offer discounts for particular people's employment. So let's say that you want to offer a military discount. You cannot do that because that would be then you're discriminating against those individuals whose sources of income are not from the military, or somebody who works with you at Amazon, and you say, oh, I
Or you don't want to run an
Amazon
ad
discount.
that says, thank you, first responders, we're offering you guys.
Yeah, or even first responders,
special
yeah.
deal.
You cannot advertise 10% discount for first responders on rent in an advertisement, because that is discriminating against all those individuals whose sources of income are not. Even that, as well-intentioned as it might be, it is an unfortunate drawback of the way the law is set up.
Hey, Matt Flynn, I don't know what joke you guys are talking about there, but can you drop your contact information in the box? Somebody wants are you able to type your contact in the chat, Matt Flynn?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, cool. Well, that's all good stuff. Anybody else has anybody sold a property in the last week or two? Anybody? Nobody? What are you guys up to, man? You guys are all out there.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Sorry, Julie. It took me a while to get to the mute button there. I'm fixing a windshield crack. Yeah, I've got a property in Milton that we've been running through the close process. We should close tomorrow. So that's my second property during the COVID that's closing. So I'm really thankful.
Any bumps along the way as a result?
Yeah, well, just more scrutiny on the inspections. And then, you just never know about the appraisals, although they seem to be coming in just fine. But it's just like normally when I've sold properties outside of this period, there's so much really good communication coming from the buyer's lender. And it's like you just hear every few days, you're hearing something, we've done this, we've done. And that's the one thing I'm really noticing in this time is the communication has really dropped off from the buyer's lenders. And it's kind of like you're sitting there wondering, are we appraising? Are we moving forward? Are docs dropped? Yeah. So that's the biggest thing I've noticed, but they're still closing and they've been closing on time. Even though they've been putting these automatic extensions on some of the contracts, everybody's closed to their original close date so far. I mean, the two, I've got two. So not everybody, but the two that I've done. So that's what I'm finding.
Good. And what was the price point on those?
So the first one was at $765 in West Seattle. And then this one's at $465 in Milton. So right in the bread and butter range of the Milton properties. So nothing extravagant.
So is anybody listing properties in the 350 range or anything like that? I was talking to one of my broker buddies that does a large volume of business in Pierce County. And he was telling me that for the first time and what he can remember, that he has had a property, I think it was priced in the 350 range down in Kent or something, that it sat on the market, for over 30 days and there's nothing wrong with the property. And he said that's the first indication that he's had related to, some sort of impact or something that's changed. Because I made sure to ask him, like, are there variables with the property why it wouldn't sell? And he said no. So I think at the lower price points like that, it's possible due to all the unemployment that we might start seeing a little longer days on market. Is anybody experiencing that? Karen, are you seeing anything down there? Nothing?
It's hopping right now down here in Pierce County. I have one that's under contract in Gig Harbor, but I'm working with 5 buyers right now, and every offer's had at least 4 every transaction, 4 offers on it. I had one that had 11 offers on it that we were competing against other buyers. It's still crazy, but that's in the 250 to 300 range. So anything, they're going a little bit over 3, but maybe the 350 is a little different. But right now, all my buyers are right in that 250 to 310 range.
Go ahead, Troy.
I'm doing last summer type inspections, pre-offer inspections, where I'm running into other inspectors, and that's ranging from million-dollar listings on Mercer Island and Bellevue, all the way down to houses in Tacoma, you know, $300,000 houses in Tacoma. So
tell everybody what you do, so not everybody might know you.
I'm a home inspector during the day, but Kelsey and I, we're having 3-4 inspection days, which is exhausting, and we're working until starting inspections at 5 o'clock just to get in to do pre-offer inspections. But the market is hot, and I haven't had a month like this since last summer when the market was just cracking.
Good stuff. Karen, that was Q that told me that on his. So we'll have to ask him about that. So it seems it's still hot. I'm actually putting on like a absolutely spectacularly gorgeous home today in the Lake Ridge neighborhood with total water view, studs out remodel. Actually it's only $850. So if anybody has any buyers, man, this is going to be the place to be. So I'm curious to see how that goes down, you know, coming on today. But anybody else share any current listings or any sales they've had in the last few weeks? Anybody?
Well, Beth and I have a property at the University of Washington, a rooming house. We were supposed to close on the 10th, actually, or 11th this week, and it got postponed 2 months because the bank couldn't get the appraiser out there. So we had to do an extension for 60 days. So they ponied up another bunch of non-refundable earnest money, but that was a challenge they had, was the appraiser couldn't.
Right.
The bank wouldn't send an appraiser out because of COVID-19. So.
And you guys were the sellers on that one?
Yeah, we're the sellers on it. Yep.
Yeah, crazy stuff, right?
Yeah. And
anybody else? Anybody else got anything they want to mention today? We're at about 12:15.
We do actually have one more house Beth and I are looking at selling. It's a little cute house in Tacoma on G Street. The price point's pretty low. We're looking around $225, $230. So if you have any buyers for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, cute little house.
Karen, there you go.
I think we're gonna put that on the market here, and Beth and I have been talking about that last couple of days. So you're intriguing me because the market's so good, but we just haven't had time to deal with it. But
yeah, what part of Tacoma again?
I can give you the address. It's 9241 South G Street.
Perfect. How big?
Karen,
I'm sorry. We'll call. We can call later.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Let's see, guys. Erica said she had a listing for 730 near Briar, and it went pending in 5 days, if you guys didn't see that. So all good stuff. Thomas, you're still trying to sell your wholesale in Pacific Beach? He sold it. Good stuff. Awesome. Good stuff, Thomas. Man, you guys are hitting me from all over the place. Sold like hotcakes, he said. All right, well, we have a few minutes left. Jack Burns, my friend Jack Burns, do you want to speak up and introduce yourself?
Well, thanks. Yeah, hey, you guys, my name's Jack Burns. I have been in the off-market space since, I guess, 2004. Had a company called Estate Rescue back in the day, and caused a lot of turmoil and the whole RCW 6134 stuff that you guys are all familiar with. Anyway, old history. We've got a platform right now that we're retooling to address this new market that we're in. Offer AI is my company. It's an off-market instant offer marketplace for agents, and we're in Texas and Colorado and Florida, and not really here in Washington state yet. And it's kind of in a state of flux right now because there's not a lot of confidence that agents are going to be. The business model was around getting money from agents to help the thing expand. So there's some question as to whether agents are going to be able to afford extracurricular things when they're being marginalized and not making a lot of money right now. So we're retooling, and some pretty exciting stuff. Still kind of close to the vest on where that's going, but it's really good to hear you guys talk about what's going on in the local market here and in the investor space. And it's been really helpful for me to make some decisions. I appreciate you letting me watch. But I would like to talk to Matt Flynn. If you want to provide your contact info, that'd be great.
I think you might have put it in the chat. Can you see the chat?
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
And if you don't get it, Jack, just let me know and I'll hook you up. But so is there are you in touch with then what's going on in the Texas market? As how that's going? I'm just curious to know what, we're not exactly the leader of changes out here in Seattle, right? So there's other markets that change before we do. Does anybody know off the top of their head which markets are the leading markets that things happen in first? Like maybe is that California or Florida, where we can kind of see it rolling our way, so to speak? I'm going to do some research on that for us, and I'll have something to say about that next week. Yeah, Jack's company is called Offer AI. If you want to check that out, you just go to offerai.com, right, Jack?
Yes, thank you.
Good stuff. All right, guys, we're winding down. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add today? Again, school up on being able to speak forbearance and all the impacts of loan deferrals and all that other stuff, because regardless of again, where you are, what discipline you are in real estate, whatever you touch, it's a great message to start a conversation. And we all just want to start conversations so we can help people. And when you help people, that turns into business. If you act with service like that. Any wholesalers as a last call? Tyree, you're out there. I don't think Min's with us today. Tyree Payne, are you out there? Anybody who's a wholesaler out there today? Will we check in with you real quick? Unmic yourself. Not yet? Okay. We'll try to get Min on as well. We're trying to get some wholesalers on every week. We're a little short on that today. I know, Aaron, you're doing some, but we are wanting to check in with those guys that are actively marketing as wholesalers and just gauge the feedback that the sellers out there are giving the wholesalers. Last week, Min had filled us in that his volume and his actual quality of leads was picking up. So the people that are calling the wholesalers are more ready to take action. And so I expect that might and continue to pick up as well. Now, I want to remind you guys that a lot of businesses have stopped marketing. Like Aaron just said, he stopped marketing. And it is a really good time to get deals on marketing and get in the game. You need to be speaking up and you need to be doing your marketing right now. I know Facebook has gotten more cost effective and certain strategies. Again, if you're a broker and interested to learn about my private peer-to-peer broker coaching community called VIP Education Community, these are the types of things that we are coaching on. Just reach out to me. As well as seller financing stuff. But there is affordable advertising that you can do right now. And now is the time to not sit back if you can do it. Or if you need a partner to market with and contact me. I might be able to work something out with you if you just don't have the funds, but you have time and can take action and you're experienced. Reach out to me and maybe we can work something out to do something together. But Jessica, what'd you just post? What was that?
Erica was asking about seller financing tutorials or videos. I know you said you were gonna maybe do a podcast, so I just checked out that link, but on Bigger Pockets, but it's a bit older, so I'm not sure how much that changes over the years. So
yeah, and I think seller financing, there's so much to talk about. So being plugged into kind of a community, a group that you can talk about different strategies, ideas, and deal terms and all that other stuff will elevate your game faster. Marishka, go ahead, Marishka.
Oh, well, so Larry and I, about every other week or so, we do a very small group overview about note investing, but there's also a component of seller financing in there as well. So if you're interested in that, in attending one of those, you know, like I said, we do them about every other week. We try to keep the group small so we can facilitate conversation and questions, but please feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to, you know, send you that link so you can jump on. You do have to register for it though. It doesn't cost anything, but we do need to know you're coming.
Right. Good stuff. And then you guys can also hit me up if you are a broker that wants to have an opportunity to join in one of our VIP trainings on that subject as well. Just let me know. But good stuff, guys. Thanks everybody for showing up today. If anybody has any additional information they want to share, now would be the time. We want to remind you that Leica, if you're in the chat, and you can check the Seattle Investors Club Facebook page, but there's a real estate at work event coming up May 18th at 1 p.m., which is going to be a webinar with some talented folks.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of
amazing
property managers, and we're going to be talking about eviction laws, landlord resources, and also the most exciting part for me is we're going to be talking about what has happened in the rental market over the last 2 to 3 months. And then we'll probably do like an April to May comparison to see where we're at. That'll be exciting. So hope to see you all there.
Let's do it. All right, guys. We, again, appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thumbs up, everybody. Give a thumbs up. Joe, snap a photo. Thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. We can do it. And Joe, snap a photo for us, right? Hey, we're all in business, social marketing here. All right, guys. Until next time, if you guys need anything at all during the week or during the month at any time, feel free to reach out to me. I have a very deep and vast network, such as you're meeting some of them today, and I'm happy to put you in contact or help you in any possible way that I can, as I know that many of us on here are. So be healthy, have fun, enjoy your families, and we'll see you again next week. All right. Ciao, everybody. Good stuff.